Well, welcome back to the next episode of Every Kind of I Do. I'm your host, Jen with Weirdo Weddings Photography. I am just hanging out with you today, talking about some of my amazing couples that they're just doing things their own way. A lot of this is my own photography that I'm talking about, and I'm using the photography to highlight things in these weddings that I find super inspirational and also tell a story to each couple, but also to anybody listening in the wedding industry, to anybody planning their wedding. These ideas are a way to pay it forward to the next couple, to the next couple, to the next couple. And I just want to celebrate all of these amazing, amazing clients of mine that I've had over the years. And so here we are starting in the Aspen Trees of Colorado. And today I have my, if you can see it, my Weirdos Unite shirt on. And the reason why I have this on for today's episode is because this is in my fine art photography fam. This client was a beautiful, beautiful person who makes creepy and wonderful art. And she called me up and she's like, my daughter's getting married. They met at a haunted house. And I was like, yes. Oh my God, I'm your person. And she's like, she said that, it was the dream to have me come out. And I said, it is a dream for me to be there. So this was just an amazing dream come true for both of us. And I have to tell you, we got to get into this because this episode is called The Aspen Trees Have Eyeballs. And this was set in the Colorado forest. So, and I kind of kept it vague for a reason because I was like, maybe you don't think about Colorado one way. There's different cities in Colorado, there's different landscapes in Colorado. I mean, come on, like I've only been to a handful. But what I wanted to highlight in today's wedding is the scenery is such a beautiful thing that kind of goes with um it goes with everything that you're trying to do when you're putting together any kind of wedding or event. Do you want something big? Do you want something small? Do you want something that's rugged? Do you want something that's got, paved roads? I mean, seriously, the when you're thinking about your wedding, these are the kind of things and questions that you want to think about. So I'm starting with this because this is a such a beautiful, beautiful time in this wedding, and I loved it. I'm gonna have a handful of things I'm gonna highlight. So let's get into this because I'm just loving these aspen trees. So one big thing and key takeaway to this wedding is it is in Colorado where you do not have to have an officiant. Now, there's two sides to this, okay? So in my opinion, there's two different ways you can look at this. If you're a couple that doesn't mind just running off and doing your own thing, that's great. Um, I think it makes lovely photos. It's very intimate. But on the flip side of that, when you don't have an officiant or somebody guiding you, you kind of sometimes don't know what to do. And it's kind of silly. It's kind of funny and silly to think about that because as I watch this unfold, they're like, should we start? And we're like, yeah, we should just go ahead and start. And then they're like, they have vows, do they have rings? Like, what do you do in the order that you want to do it? It's like I just didn't realize until the officiant wasn't there that how much actually can go on during a ceremony, even if it's really simple. So there's two flip sides to it, both very beautiful. One feels a little bit more organic and you're just like going with your flow. The other one, the officiant typically there is to kind of guide you through your ceremony. That way you know what to do and you don't have to think too much. I loved it either way. And you'll notice that the aspen trees, if you've ever or never seen aspen trees, if you get close enough to some of these, they look like they have eyeballs and that they're looking at you. Um, in this talk today, I didn't have time to like pull together all the giant eyeball pictures. But if you kind of look in this area here, over here, you can kind of see, there's a little bit of an eyeball there. But I just thought this was lovely because, he is super tall. She's like, average height. And they're standing there together doing their cute little vows and anything else they want to do, and I was moving around a lot in the trees and that's another thing about being a photographer in nature is that no matter how quiet I think I am, my feet are still stomping around, probably in leaves or grass or rocks. And so I try to move as quietly as possible, but I just remember sometimes those leaves, they'll get you, especially at this time of year. There was a perfect amount of yellow leaves on the trees, and then also a perfect amount of yellow leaves on the ground. So, and as you'll see, I think I picked a couple of photos today to show you that. Okay, there's a little bit of things going on here, right? So the bright, bright, bright yellow, it is the perfect time of year where we have the sun behind them, actually. And I'm kind of facing towards the sun, but the sun's just a little bit sort of like it's not too spotty and it's not too shady. And then off to the side here is where everybody is kind of sitting. So it was sort of asymmetrical. It was, everything was kind of like diagonal because where we were, it was just basically a pathway at the backside of a cemetery. And it was amazing. So it was just lovely to have this canopy of trees kind of sort of right there. You can kind of see it in the middle there where they're kind of standing. And then you have the wedding party on each side. They're all kind of hanging out. They've got these beautiful deep oranges and purples and things that they're wearing for the wedding party that it's lovely. I mean, I'm telling you, the weather was perfect. The weather was so beautiful, and it was just the right amount of sun in the sky. And then still, the fact that we got so lucky to have so many leaves still on the trees was awesome. But this is their ceremony site. So they picked this site. They scouted it ahead of time. They also laid down a little bit of a runner. You can see that at the bottom of the photo. But I wanted to show you, this is a very casual wedding in the forest, and everybody is just loving it. So I wanted to also show you the details of this lovely bride. So we have this exceptional purple hair with a little bit of highlight, low light things happening. She wore, like this amazing gown. And the flowers are these mixtures of colors as well. And you can see this little bit of everything over here. But I want to highlight the fact that her makeup looks amazing. She's got the cute little nose ring, we got pearls. We've got little things that just make this look work. And you can see the blurred out, beautiful yellow trees in the background. Just fantastic. I wanted to zoom in on this because I felt like this was a detail worth celebrating. Now, in some previous episodes, I may have talked about crystals in your bouquet, other ways you do crystals, but if you'll notice that this headpiece here has a line of wire wrapped crystals all the way around it with a moon smack in the middle. And this is where your celestial kind of, the vibes all come into it. You're kind of like leaning into this feel of what's going on. And it's very subtle. It's not like this big crown. It's not, coming a foot off of her head. It is a nice, subtle headband that just kind of nestles into the purple hair. It's fantastic. And again, another close up of the makeup. Look at the details on the makeup here with just the eyelashes, the eyeshadow, the way the liner works. Just amazing. And all this whole setup here, both of them, the whole wedding party, everything was awesome because of the backdrop setting of the aspen trees. And I do have to say that it was the best choice of location for them. And it's not just that it was a meaningful spot, it was a very meaningful spot to the family. And it was something that my friend would take them there as young children, and they enjoyed the paths and the walks and the beautiful trees. So when you're picking a ceremony site, wherever it could be, think about the things that you already enjoy. And for this family, they already enjoyed this vicinity. It was beautiful. I also wanted to highlight what they did with their shoes. This was me trying to how do I photograph their shoes? Because they have the side details and then they have the tread of the shoe has details. So I did the best I could. It just says married just, but it's just married underneath their shoes. And I thought it was adorable how much effort they put into the shoes themselves. And of course, I had to get some of the nature in this image because, I mean, just the bark of the trees is just fascinating to look at. You can kind of see like this little eyeballs kind of things looking at you. But the shoes, think about your shoes for your wedding. Are you going to be comfortable or are your feet going to hurt? For them, they were going up and down a steep hill. Is that something you want to do in the woods? Do you want to try to wear something that you wouldn't normally wear in the woods? I commend them for choosing shoes that made sense for their wedding ceremony location. So, and plus it's fun. Look how fun these are. They're so cute and so, easy to get around in. And so after this, the ceremony was the biggest piece of their wedding day, and then they had a reception afterwards that was a little bit of a drive away. But we got to spend some time here in the aspen trees together. And so on another episode, I will share with you the lovely images of this entire wedding. But for today, I think I left you with so much inspiration from a Colorado wedding that I think is lovely. And of course, to all my weirdos out there getting married in Colorado aspen trees, they're watching. Well, this is Jen with Every Kind of I Do, and thanks so much for listening. Leave a comment, like and subscribe because we want to know what interests you. What tips would you offer couples like this if they're getting married in the woods? What would you say to them? Are you a couple planning your wedding in the woods? What are your thoughts on getting married with no officiant? It's such an interesting thing, right? All right, I'll see you on the next episode. Have a wonderful day.